And now, the general weather around Alaska.
All right, first up, hazardous weather graphic showing the red shaded areas here along the coast. That's a coastal flood warning, which is out for the Yukon Delta coast, St. Lawrence Island, Bering Strait coast here, south coast of the Seward Peninsula, as well as right on the north side there into Kotzebue Sound, on up to across Kivalina, Point Hope, Cape Lisburne, and extending all the way to the central Arctic coast there. And that's looking, again, a coastal flood warning, so expect coastal flooding with tides as high as 5 feet above what they would be here across this entire area, and that's out for Wednesday and Thursday. Kuskokwim Delta and Nunivak Island along the coast, coastal flood advisories there for coastal flooding that'll be less serious than what you have in the red shaded areas. And to the east, the kind of tan or the autumn colored area here, that's wind advisory out for the Koyukuk Valley there, or southern Kobuk Valley down into the northern Kuskokwim Valley for winds gusting 35 to 55 miles an hour or so. And then a high wind warning here for the Alaska Range, looking for southeast winds gusting over 60 miles per hour. And the same through this area up into the Koyukuk Valley, and the White Mountains are north of Fairbanks, looking for, that's a high wind warning also for winds gusting over 60 miles per hour. And from there, looking at the satellite imagery, this is the storm here in the front, bringing all of the warnings and advisories into the area over the next couple of days. Strong low pressure here tracking northeastward, crossing the Russian peninsula here, and front pushing eastward. A lot of precipitation, gusty winds coming with that into the west coast here, with south coast of the Seward Peninsula seeing anywhere from 3/4 to an inch of rain, some areas a little bit more. Elam picking up about 1.25 inches today. And let's see, Caltag, farther to the southeast there, they had over an inch of rain in the 12-hour period ending at 3 o'clock this afternoon as well, with rain spreading into the interior and lighter amounts here into the Tanana Valley. Some showers in the form of snow for the eastern Arctic coast there. But sunshine, south central Alaska today, mostly sunny into the Copper River Basin, North Gulf Coast. High clouds, though, thickening over the Kuskokwim Valley. That's spilling over the Alaska Range now. And then the front out here to the west, not as strong over the central Aleutians, but bringing rain from the Aleutians, Pribilof Islands, all the way up in toward the Brooks Range there. Upper level low pressure here, keeping it showery, especially over the northern panhandle today, but those showers diminishing as that whole system, most of which is already into Canada, and that'll continue to edge eastward there. You can see kind of a southeastward motion to the clouds here. So that'll keep the border areas there under the threat of some showers this evening. And on the satellite, or actually the forecast for tonight, you can see the strong low pressure area crosses the Russian peninsula there, moving as it moves into the Chukchi Sea, and a very active front pushes eastward here, again with the coastal flood warnings out for the Yukon Delta coast, all the way up to the central Arctic coast there. Rain heavy at times continues with gusty winds. Again, high wind warnings and advisories, areas of the interior here. And that trails down, not as strong here in the southern areas, but still looking at some pretty good wind and rain into the Alaska Peninsula and Fox Islands there. Showers for the Pribilofs with lighter southwest winds. Handsome with a trough back here, another surge coming around the bottom of this low as it pulls northeastward there. Otherwise, look for clouds to increase, thicken, and lower here across south central Alaska, as well as the Copper River Basin. High pressure moving in, ends the showers over the southeast coast, so light winds. Probably see some low clouds and fog possibly forming in areas tonight there with the lighter winds and the clearing skies. And moving ahead to forecast for Wednesday. Snow up here along the Arctic coast in areas there with gusty west to southwest winds. And again, rain or snow, kind of a complex mix of precipitation here with the warmer air coming up from the south and then some colder air coming down on the back side of this here behind the front, especially behind these two troughs farther to the west there. So that'll be kind of a give or take there, rain or snow mixture, just plain either one. And of course, all that depends on your elevation, the time of day, of course. But here along the front to the south over south central Alaska, that'll be rain starting to push in toward Cook Inlet. Kind of a narrow band. It won't be that heavy here. And the farther south you go, the narrower the band gets. But look for some precipitation to move into Bristol Bay and the Alaska Peninsula. Winds not nearly as strong here over the southern areas as they will be here with a tighter gradient there across the Seward Peninsula and the St. Lawrence Island area, right on up across the Brooks Range to the eastern Arctic coast. High pressure, partly to mostly sunny skies, light winds after the morning, low clouds and fog for the Panhandle. Pretty nice, but again, increasing mid and high level clouds for the Copper River Basin, but staying for the most part dry. And out to the west, a lot of showers out over the Bering Sea here, some of which scoot on down and catch some of the central and eastern Aleutians. And for the Thursday outlook, that low takes off here to the northeast there, bringing some gusty west and southwest winds to the central Arctic coast and even the east side there, with snow and snow showers coming back onshore for the western Arctic coast, maybe even down into Kotzebue and along the central and southern slopes of the Brooks Range there. Mixing to the south, mostly rain here, rain showers with this trough coming into the southwest interior. Higher pressure here building over the Bering Sea ahead of a next storm force front pushing into the western Aleutians, looking for southeast winds increasing 50 to 60 knots there from Chitka Island out to Shemya. So could see some gusts upwards of 80 miles per hour, those sustained 60-knot winds forecast in the marine areas there. Otherwise, a weak thing here off the north coast of the Panhandle brings a slight chance of some scattered showers and clouds there, mostly to the north coast. And weakening low, Prince William Sound, chance of showers to the North Gulf Coast, into the Copper River Basin areas. But northwest flow here, drying it out with some clearing over southern Cook Inlet to Kodiak Island, mostly sunny. Same thing for the Alaska Peninsula. But northern Cook Inlet into the Susitna Valley, look for mostly cloudy skies with a few showers around, but nothing too heavy. And then moving on to Friday, a couple of troughs there, keep some light snow and breezy conditions with the central and eastern Arctic coast there, windiest and possibly the heaviest snow would be on the eastern Arctic coast, otherwise scattered rain or snow showers over the eastern interior. Same thing for the Panhandle there. A weak trough brings some clouds and a risk of a shower or two into mainly the northern areas there. Sunny skies, light winds, high pressure, southern Alaska, right on up to the north and northwest here, Seward Peninsula. Looking for partly to mostly sunny skies. Wind and clouds increase during the late afternoon along the south coast. There are no winds, definitely for Savunga and Gamble. Winds will be on the increase there, but the precipitation staying to the south. But it looks like gale force winds, rain, roll on to the southwest coast in the afternoon. Windy, wet conditions here for the eastern Aleutians into the Alaska Peninsula and the Pribilof Islands. And showers and windy for the central Aleutians. Stronger winds with rain out to the west with that main low center there near the Komodorsky Islands. And for the lows tonight, 30s for the North Slope and Arctic coast into the Brooks Range. Otherwise, 30s and 40s for the remainder of the state, closer to 50 for the Alaska Peninsula. And for the southeast coast, lows in the mid-30s to near 40 there, with highs for tomorrow over the Panhandle in the 50s. 50s across much of southern Alaska, right up into the Tanana Valley, looking at lower 50s there, upper 40s out toward the coast, Pribilof Islands, and upper 40s to lower 50s for the Aleutians. And warm up here for the Arctic coast and Brooks Range into the 40s, all areas up there that'll extend down into the Seward Peninsula and St. Lawrence Island. Followed by lows, 20s and 30s, Brooks Range or in the northern valleys here up to the Arctic coast, and 30s and 40s across the remainder of Alaska. And the highs Thursday afternoon, 50s to near 60 for the southeast coast. Otherwise in the 50s across the south here into the Alaska Peninsula, including the Aleutians, with 55 for Adak. Otherwise in the 40s here for the remainder of the area. Higher elevations of the Brooks Range only in the 30s, as well as areas of the Arctic coast.